Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we have an Olympiad question here that reads, suppose f is a function such that f of n plus 1 is equal f of n plus 3 f of n minus 1 for all integers n. If f of 4 is equal to 151 and f of 1 is equal to 1, what is f of negative 1? So what do we need to do here? Like I said, I will always say in my video, use what you have to get what you exactly do need. Now, if you see here, you can see that we're given that the n plus 1th term is f of n, that is the f n plus 1th term is f of n plus 3 f of n minus 1. So we're going to be writing the instances of how the function behaves as n increases or changes. So we're starting off with f of when n is rather 3. So when n is 3, how does the function behave? When n, so we're solving it now. So we have that when n is equal to 3, how does the function here, how does it behave? It becomes f of 3 plus 1, which is equal to f of 3 plus 3 f of 3 minus 1. So f of 3 plus 1 happens to be what? F of 4, which is equal to f of 3 plus 3 f of 2. That's for that. Now let's move ahead and try when n is equal to 1. How does the function behave? It becomes f of 1 plus 1 is equal to f of 1 plus 3 f of 1 minus what? Minus 1. Then we have, this is f of 2, which is equal to f of 1 plus 3 f naught, that is f of 0. Now, we could see already before now that we're given that f of 1 is what? 1 from the question. So let's just substitute that into f of 2. So f of 2 now can be further simplified as 1 plus 3 f of 0. Now we have that. Now, the next thing now we are going to do now is we're going to look at it. When n is equal to 2, how does the function behave? When n is equal to 2, the function behaves this way. We have f of 2 plus 1, which is equal to f of 2 plus 3 f of 2 minus 1. So this becomes f of 3, which is equal to f of 2 plus 3 f of 1. Now we can see here before now that we've gotten f of 2 as what? 1 plus 3 f naught or f of 0. And we were given that f of 1 is actually 1. So we just need to substitute that into f of 3 and then simplify f of 3. So the whole essence of this is that we want to get the value of f of 3 and f of 2, which is what we've gotten here, and substitute it back into f of 4. Because we're given the value of f of 4 as 151. So we're going to use that to get the negation that we do need. So let's move on now. So if we substitute the value of f of 2 that we've gotten here initially into f of 3 is further simplified as what? 1 plus 3 f naught plus 3 f of 1 is what? Just 1. So f of 3 becomes what? 1 plus 3 f naught plus what? 3, which is equal to what? 1 plus 3 is just what? 4. 4 plus 3 f naught. Now, note, we are not done. What's the next thing? Substitute this into f of 4. So let's take on another. We could see before that we have that f of 4 is simply what? From the question, it was given as 151. Also, f of 4 from what we got before was what? F of 3 plus 3 f of 2. right? Now we've gotten f of 3. F of 3, we got it as what? 4 plus 3 f naught, or f of 0. Then f of 2, we got it as what? 1 plus 3 f naught, or f of 0. So now let's substitute that into this f of 4 and equate it to 151, and then we are good to go. We've gotten, at least we've gone ahead of what we are very close to the end of the tunnel. Yeah, let's do it that way. So this becomes 151, which is equal to f of 3. F of 3 is what? 4 plus 3, 4 plus 3 f naught, right? Then plus 3 f of 2. F of 2 is what? 1 plus 3 f of 0. Now, let's simplify this now. So this becomes 151 equal to, this is 4 plus 3 f naught, or f of 0, plus 3, we open this bracket, 3, then this is plus 9 f of 0. Now, when we simplify this now, we have 151 equal to, this becomes 12, right? Sorry, 7 rather. 4 plus 3 actually is a 7, yeah. 4 plus 3 here is a 7, plus 3 plus 9 is what? A 12. 12 f of 0. Now let's solve for f of 0, or f naught. We'll simply subtract 7 from both sides. So if I subtract 7 for both sides, I have 144, which is equal to 12 f of 0. So how do I get my f of 0? Divide both sides by 12. If I divide both sides by 12, it implies that what? F of 0 is just what? Is just 12. Now we are not done. The question says to find f of negative 1. So how do I find? So now let's make n to be equal to 0. Let's make n to be equal to 0 and see how the function from the n plus 1 position behaves. So when n is equal to 0, it becomes f of 0 plus 1, which is equal to what? F of 0 plus 3 f of what? 0 minus 1. From this now, I will get f of negative 1. I'll show you how I'll get that now. So this becomes f of 1, which is equal to f of 0 plus 3 f of what? Negative 1. So if you look at this properly, we have the value of f of 1. We know the value of f naught. So the only unknown here will simply be f of negative 1, which is what we actually asked to find from the question. Now let's quickly move ahead. So f of 1 is simply what? 1 from the question. And we've gotten f naught to be what? 12. Then plus 3 f of negative 1. So what do I do here now if I subtract 12 from both sides? If I subtract 12 from both sides, what will I have? I'll have negative 11 is equal to 3 f of negative 1. So if I divide both sides by 3, I will have what? F of negative 1 is simply negative 11 divided by 3. And that's all about that. This is what you're expected to do. Like, comment, share, make sure to subscribe. Bye. See you in my next video. I remain the global math teacher.